All right, so here we have Ethereum versus the dollar, and I believe it has hit our blue box target from last week or the weeks prior than that analysis. With that said, bounces are expected off that region. We're kind of already hitting the easy targets from that at just under 2,900 or so. So I would say I would have caution short term between about 28.90 to 29.10 or so. As long as it's below that, it is still an overall downtrend. And just playing out another likely lower high on the shorter term timeframes. That would also actually be around the 0.5 on the daily. So if it does get a bit of extension here alongside the rest of the market, it's kind of where I'm looking for on a bit of a rejection. And to put it bluntly, I do not call any sort of like a potential reversal here at all, especially as long as you're closing dailies below about 3,000 or just above 3,000. So risk does still remain lower. I think the hopium is that you're doing something like this. I don't think that that's a good thing to be going off of. I think diagonal trend lines in general are garbage, and typically people who use them are, well, I don't really see too many people who use them who I think, well, we don't even need to get into that. Basically, I don't see them working out all that often. I'll just put that there. Anyways, so yeah, short-term timeframes, can very easily extend the bounce, but anything below, especially $3,000, is completely meaningless for higher-term timeframes. 5-day and weekly do suggest risk is still lower, somewhere down around the last weekly lows here at about 24.50 to 25.50 or so. I would be looking for another set of bounces there. And yeah, so yeah, this week, whether it rallies up to 29 or 29.50 is kind of irrelevant to me. I think it's definitely possible, but I'm overall bearish as long as this thing's below $3,000, and very likely does beget continuation somewhere down around 25, maybe a little bit below there, in the coming like month or two. With that said, do we have anything obvious right here? We're about to have a downside jewel signal plus very low volatility, which is a nasty setup if that gets confirmed. On top of that, the weekly stochastic is already hinting at across to the downside. That will confirm at the end of this week below 31.30. The 5-day, I'm going to guess, has already done it. Yes, indeed it has. Also playing out another trend line regression. I already have it in there. From the last few highs coming in September 2021, and then November, that was the all-time high. So that was this high right here, and then this high right here. So good results on that one for downside. Remains with downside pressure as long as Ethereum's closed in 5 days below about 3,300. So I do believe that risk is still lower here after maybe a short-term time frame bounce. Daily turns down below about 28.25. So short term might bounce up just north of 3,000 if on a good bounce if the rest of the market wants to do it. I don't have a strong opinion on that. My strong opinion is on long-term continuation to the downside, likely somewhere around 25, maybe a wick down to like 23.5 or so, and probably tries for a bounce there. The question specifically is, though, will it hit 2,000? 2,000 is pretty far away from right here. And is it likely? Well, here's the thing. I don't think that 2,000 itself is any like major thing to be aware of. What I think is really important to be aware of is actually a weekly closure on new lows. So in this case, that would be below 2,300. At that point, 2,000, besides being a round psychological even number, I think is completely irrelevant. I think that you will see a continuation move somewhere around about 1,700 or so if that condition is met. Basically around these wick lows from last year, so 17 to 1800 or so. That very likely sets up for a nice bounce, and the hoping would be that that's going to be the next like macro low. And then you're also asking, is the bull run maybe going to start October? No fucking idea, man. I can tell you where I'd be bullish on this. Again, above $3,000 would be a really good start. No questions asked. Massively fucking macro bullish above about 35 or 34.50 or so. I think this is unlikely before downside continuation. But does the bull run start just because it's October? I have no way of knowing that. No way of saying that. And I think that, generally speaking, those sort of projections are good for clickbait, good for views, but not like real analysis. Yeah, man. So hopefully that was helpful. And there you go for Ethereum. I'm just seeing if I'm missing anything else here. Daily, yeah, same thing over here. Maybe 12 hours going to have some, yeah, probably a little bit more continuation here, and then I'd be mindful of any sort of a lower high rejection below, especially 3,000. Hopefully that was helpful, man.